So at this point, I will tell you a little bit about initiatives of the Dectris initiatives throughout the International Year of Crystallography. And this is mostly going to be based on this OpenFactory initiative. So organization, then outcome, and also sustainability of this type of approach. So here the first thing maybe that you can see that our logo is here detecting the future. And this already can give a little bit of a hint why we are so engaged into education questions. So here it's also crystallography for a new generation also as a logo of this event. So we are kind of looking, we are both looking into the same direction. So, as I said, Dectris at the International Years of Crystallography, and then also outcomes and future work, because this here presents a little bit something a little bit different. We are more involved into sustainability and focused approach than in general making crystallography very popular science. So, for first, why bother? Why should we do all of this? So Dectris here comes from Paul Scherrer Institute in Switzerland, and this already brings this first issue of having really strong ties with essential science and research. And then second thing, throughout years in the development of sources, and now in particular synchrotron sources, we kind of evolved from these photographic films to really huge detectors. And this is something that we build and that we know. We know how to detect the X-rays. So then, what we have, we are detector developers. We are also crystallographers. In fact, quite a lot of, majority of company is. And something that people tend to forget, that crystallography is experimental science. So we were thinking how to help and what to do. There is, of course, the most important question, and that's financial support. But it's also sharing know-how and sharing expertise is equally important. So this kind of sums up to three biggest points. One is defining interest group. Who can we help, whom can we help and why? Also defining a region of interest, so something applicable to a certain region. Organizing then schools that are going to be admission free, so that it's kind of equal opportunity for everyone. Sharing expertise, what do we know well enough to bring further? And the fourth most important point is sustainability of the whole process. There's no point in making it a pop science if we are not going to pursue in 2015 with this. So we started this IYCR career already at the opening ceremony in Paris. And here our CEO, Christian Brönnimann, gave a lecture on impact of Dectris detector technology on crystallography and diffraction and scattering techniques. It was also at that point that the OpenFactory initiative was discussed, or at least put into solid grounds. So this came then between Dectris as producer of detectors, Stowe as manufacturer, also developer of diffraction diffractometers, and Xenox, who are experts in tubes, X-ray tubes, and optics. So three companies, International Union of Crystallography and UNESCO, and we came to this OpenFactory event. So this meant, again, different approach. We will get participants, so three companies will sponsor 3 times 7 participants, and we will bring them to Europe. We will bring them to our place to share some lectures, share some experimental work, and bring nations together. So this meant here introducing X-ray powder diffraction, single crystal, and small angle scattering. We ended up with 157 applicants, of which we could take, of course, only 21. And we chose them on this basis of interest group. So what we can offer are these diffraction and scattering techniques, and this is how the participants were chosen. So from Dectris side, we made a little step further, and apart from defining an interest group, we defined a regional target, and for us this was Africa. So we chose 7 participants here from various African countries, so here from Nigeria, Algeria, Tunisia, Ivory Coast, and Cameroon, and decided to support these researchers. And then we had a little bit of a surprise. We had yet one applicant who did not join OpenFactory event, but was sponsored then to join International Year of Crystallography for a full participation. So this summed up to 21 participants chosen by scientific committee, 9 nationalities, 2 countries, 10 days of lectures in theory and in practical work, and unlimited enthusiasm of these people to participate. Of course, enthusiasm was not reason enough to keep everything smooth. So here, for Misodet Nana, things did not turn out that beautifully, because she was refused to get a visa to enter European Union and could not participate in school. So then she was replaced by Miss Kasia from Poland. So the group met in ceremony and for initial set of lectures. So this was kind of a nice icebreaker. And then the very next day, they were traveling to Grenoble to Xenox site. So what they did in Grenoble was first had small angle scattering lectures and workshops at Xenox application lab. And this was followed then by visit to European radiation facility in also in Grenoble. So this here moment brought together academia and OEM manufacturers and also large-scale facilities, because at this point participants could understand it and could make some connections for their future work at large-scale facilities. Because here they did not perform any hands-on experiments, but they could at least talk to scientists, see history of and developments and future techniques that are offered, and most importantly, make some network. And then, of course, it's France. It's a good food. It's nice mountains and cultural aspects. So for the last day of Grenoble stay, participants were also given a chance to enjoy a little bit in food and wine. So they went back to Darmstadt at the Stoe headquarters. And this was then followed by a quite tough series in both single crystal and powder diffraction lectures. So this covered basic crystallography and then again practical work on diffractometers. And Darmstadt series were then finalized by a visit of Professor Desiraju and giving a lecture about 100 years of crystallography, but seen through the eye here, much appreciated by participants. And all in all, from at least participants' points of view, OpenFactory was a success. At least for 21 of them, but it was not really successful for Misodet Nana, who did not get the chance to participate. So here, idea was brought that she gets to be sponsored to join Pan-African Summit, and at least to get compensated a little bit for not being able to join OpenFactory. So at this moment, I really would like to give my greatest thank you notes for Professor Roth and his team for being really helpful and also offering free admission to both events. Unfortunately, Miss Nana could not join. She was sick, but nonetheless, it was a really, really nice initiative from both sides, Dectris and University of Bloemfontein. So, as I said, perhaps the most important part from Dectris is being sustainable in initiative. So throughout International Year of Crystallography, we also supported financially and by sharing know-how other schools and events, and one of these was Hot Topics in Contemporary Crystallography. Then Paul Scherrer School on X-ray powder diffraction, Sere Expo workshop in Bari, German Crystallographic Society, Young Crystallographers, in School on Modern Powder Diffraction. So, of which I would like to explicitly here stress Hot Topics in Contemporary Crystallography, because this was a school that was organized completely admission-free, including also accommodation of participants. So then again, many thanks to local organizing committee, and this is Dr. Višnjevac and Professor Popović. So what did we do, or what are we planning to do after this International Year of Crystallography? And this is staying in touch. So we have our database of interested young researchers and students, and we found that it would be quite a good fit to connect Dr. Đilović with the organizing committee of Verice Crystallography School, because of fitting his field really fits for the program of the school, and then offer a full sponsorship for participation. And then for our African initiative this year, there is not that much to do except for North African crystallographic meeting. So we are then planning for sponsoring of this meeting organized by also OpenFactory participant Dr. Buzala. Then the story goes a little bit back to Switzerland with the Zurich Crystallography School. This is something more advanced, because here this is mostly based on hands-on experience. So this is something here what we could organize is beam time at Swiss Light Source to introduce participants into possibilities and opportunities at large-scale facilities. So, as I said, Dectris logo is detecting the future. We detected quite a lot, and it all comes down to interacting with young crystallographers and then having sustainable development, staying in contact, offering support. There's not that much to do in introducing people to crystallography and then backing out without mostly technological support to count on. So for the conclusion to it, I'd say we defined pretty much our interest group and the region of interest. We succeeded in organizing admission-free school as OpenFactory and supporting other workshops, managed to share expertise in diffraction and crystallography, and I put here a little check mark on sustainability and staying in touch. Time will tell, but I guess that we are on a good way. So again now, why should we bother? We are crystallographers. I am also a crystallographer. I've been also on the other side of the story when I needed support in both theoretical knowledge and instrumentation. And thank you for your attention.